Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is January 2nd, 2023. So holidays are over. My family all left yesterday. It's been a pretty quiet day today. I just got dressed. It's like 2 o'clock. Just had a shower, got dressed. I have been up since 7, but I haven't been out of my room. Just taking it easy, laying low today, resting, reflecting. And I know that whatever room I go into, I'm going to have to clean. So I'm kind of hiding out, I guess, is what I'm doing. I had a great time with our family. As many of you might know, if you watched any of my other videos, a lot of my children live a distance away. And we were planning on New Year's, getting together as a family. I had all my kids here. I had grandkids here, which is a big deal when you have 9 kids that have families and a distance to travel. It doesn't happen very often that we're all here at the same time, but I was so thankful everyone was able to make it. I was thankful we planned it for New Year's and not for Christmas, because the Christmas weather was awful. Like nobody could go anywhere, even within their own towns. Especially Huntsville and up in Northern Ontario, where a lot of them are from. So we did it. We all got together. We had a blast. They started arriving on the 28th, and the next group arrived on the 30th. And we just had, it was just a few days. It went so fast. Had my little granddaughters here. 2 of them are 7, obviously from different families, and then a 3-year-old. And it was a blast having little kids in the house again. I did go to bed early many nights. But the first night they were all here, they were playing hide and seek, running around the house, having a ball. And I was just sitting in my bedroom, and I just sat and listened to them laughing and playing and running. And it made my heart sing. It was awesome. So today's video, the day they were coming, which was the 28th, we had a Christmas dinner just for the local family. And so I had a ton of leftovers in my fridge. And that wasn't even the big dinner. We were doing New Year's Eve appetizers. I've been cooking for 2 weeks. If you look on my videos, you'll see making lots of appetizers, dips. And that's just the stuff I made ahead. That wasn't the stuff we were making the day of. And then a big turkey dinner for New Year's. So I needed to clean out my fridge. I can't deal with chaos. And I hate it when my fridge gets packed full, which it is right now, which is another reason I haven't gone downstairs. So I needed to get the leftovers from Christmas dinner out of there somehow, use them up. So I made this soup that you're going to see in the video today. It turned out so good. The kids loved it. I had it ready for them. They were traveling that day, didn't get here till about 6 or 6:30 at night. And I had a big pot of this chowder ready for them, and they devoured it. They loved it. So I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you also realize I used what I had in my fridge. Now I've got turkey leftovers and other things. If I do it again, I'll make it different, but using the same sort of principles. It's flexible. It's versatile. Make it your own. Change the spices. I didn't follow a recipe. I didn't even look at a recipe. I just looked at what I had to use up, and I threw it in the pot. So that worked out good. I also want to say, I don't know if I said anything on here, but in my Facebook post, I mentioned that I cannot, for my life, make pie crust. And I was making tortilla. I was making 2 of them. I thought I had pie crust in the freezer, and they weren't usable. So I had to make my own. I was so frustrated. I try my hardest, and every time I'm having to piece these pie crusts in the pan on top of the pie, and I was so discouraged. But we made those pies for New Year's. The crust was fantastic. The taste, the texture, the flakiness, it was so good. If I could just learn how to keep it in one piece, a solid piece, So anyway, I just wanted to go on record saying it tasted great, like really, really, really good. It wasn't tough, it wasn't hard, it was so flaky, so tender, and I loved it. So there's that. Thought there was something else I wanted to mention in this intro, because obviously the video I'm posting today was not filmed today. I'm just doing the introduction to it because I was doing it on the fly and there were a lot of people around and I just had to get it done. So I didn't get a real intro made for that video. So that's what today is. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you try the soup. Use whatever you have. It's a great way to use up leftovers. My guys, they're not big on eating leftovers. At least not in their original state. Like they don't usually go and make another plate of vegetables, potatoes and stuff and heat it up. So when I can do something else, repurpose or recycle it or whatever you want to call it and make it into something new, I mean it went over so well and we didn't waste anything. It kept my fridge organized and tidy and able to prepare for the next onslaught of leftovers that were inevitably going to be there. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. Glenn's right. Don't tell him. I do make too much food. Too much food. I told them to bring containers. Nobody brought containers. So I have been forcing it on people, at least the locals, to take home. And then the rest, I'm just going to take, there was a lot of those dips left and I'm going to put them in better containers for the amount I have left. And I'm going to freeze them and label them and we'll use them the next time we get together. Because I'm not wasting all that and I'm definitely not eating all that. So much cheese, so much dairy, like, and so rich. It was tasty, it was good, but a little goes a long way. And so then I'll have it ready for the next time. So anyway, enjoy the video. Try the soup. If you try it, let me know what you think. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Usually I say welcome to my kitchen because that's usually where I am. Today I'm still hiding out in the bedroom. Hit subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell for all notifications so you don't miss any videos that I upload. Typically it's some kind of recipe, cooking something. You know, as summer rolls around, there'll be more gardening. Actually, one of the things I want to start this week is I want to start a fresh batch of microgreens. I haven't done it since last early summer. Just with produce not being in season and lettuce and stuff getting so expensive and in my opinion deficient and inferior, I am going to grow microgreens this winter for our family. A little goes a long way. I have videos about those. I'll post a couple links up there. And yeah, anyway, enjoy the soup. Enjoy the video. I wish everybody a good year this year. You've had a hard few years. It's been tough for a lot of reasons. And I hope that this year brings you some relief, some fulfilled dreams and hopes. I hope that this year you're able to create wonderful memories for the years ahead. And I just hope this year is a little bit kinder to all of us. So from my home to yours, may this be a really good year for you and your family in whatever way it needs to be for you. I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed, everybody that tunes in, everybody that is so patient with my foibles as far as videoing and editing and all the things. I'm not professional. I'm not polished. I'm just passionate about my home, my kitchen, my family, and like you'll see in my intro slide of all the things that I make in my kitchen, the memories are what matter the most. Okay guys, so starting with this soup, I'm adding onions, celery, and sliced fresh garlic to my pan and the top of my stove. And I'm turning it down, and then we're just going to let this saute until all those vegetables get nice and soft. I like using my Dutch oven. The one thing to remember with a Dutch oven, it takes a little bit for it to get heated up, but once it's heated up, it stays fairly hot. So you want to make sure you're not burning anything. I'm going to let this kind of cool down before I leave it and go work on the rest. I just want to caramelize those onions a bit, soften the celery a bit, and I don't mind doing it on a really low simmer. Oh my goodness. So what I'm starting with here today is this is how much ham we have left over. So the first thing I need is a knife, and I'm going to go and take the meat off these bones. And I'm going to leave a fair bit on the bone because I'm going to use it to make broth. Now, some people, when they make beans, they just throw this whole thing in the way it is. I don't like doing that because I just find there's too many things left on here, like grizzly parts and stuff, that end up in that either soup if you're making pea soup or beans, and so I don't like to do that. I like to take all the meat off that I'm going to take off, and then make the broth first, and then use that broth to make beans. I like meat, but I'm not a big fan of all the little icky things like fat and grizzle, and so I try to clean it off as much as I can, and then whatever pieces I take off will just go in the broth because it will all get strained. So some of my family are on their way today to begin, because we're really celebrating New Year's, just so that the families that had little children could stay home and have their own quiet as it ever gets, Christmas with their kids, having a quiet morning, not having to get up and run and get somewhere. And also, thankfully, I'm glad that's the way we had it planned, because the weather this year was like horrendous, and they wouldn't have made it anyway, so it worked out well. So this is how much is going to be broth meat. So I don't have a lot to work with. The nice thing about ham, and this was a really nice ham, is that it flavors really well. If all you're looking for is flavor from it, you don't need a lot. Oh, actually, that's not all for broth. What was I thinking? Oh no, that's not broth. This is broth. So I also the first recipe I'm making is a kind of a potato ham chowder. So I take all the peels and ends and stuff that I've cut away from the vegetables I'm using, and I'm going to put them in the broth as well. So that will be for later. Today I am doing the chowder, and I'm using up a lot of leftovers. I have leftover cooked carrots. I have 2 things of leftover potatoes, leftover corn, leftover ham. So all I have in my pot right now are the vegetables that I'm using for the soup. Then I'm just sauteing the onions and celery. So I'm going to start to put this together. So I'm just going to brown up this ham now in the vegetables. And I mean, I know it's already cooked, but I kind of like it to get just a little brown. I'll let that simmer for a little bit. This is what it's looking like so far. So I'm just going to put this chicken broth in. It's frozen, so I'm gonna let it simmer in here for a little bit. And honestly, guys, like, I don't have a recipe for this. You just have to take notes, because I'm just using up leftovers out of the fridge and trying to come up with ideas that are not something that we've eaten over and over. You can turn the stove up now so I can melt that and I don't have to worry about it burning. Okay, so I'm just going to cover it, let it simmer. Okay guys, so this is what I'm doing, and I'm not even saying it's the right thing, but I have all this stuff to use up, and this is how we're doing it. So these are the potatoes I have left over. I have two different kinds. I had mashed potatoes and kind of a chunked red potatoes with the skins, with onions and bacon and stuff in it. So I'm gonna put that in next. And that's pretty much taken up all that broth. But I am going to be adding milk. So I'm just going to use my chopper thing here to put all that in there. Now the reason I'm putting all this in before I add more liquid is because then I can add liquid to the thickness that I want it to be. I have cooked carrots. Let me turn this off while I put this in. I don't want it burning. And I have corn. I mean, it looks pretty good. And now I'm going to start adding milk. And I am going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour in here, just so it's Actually, it's not bad. Need some seasoning though. Okay, so I think it needs a little more salt, which is not unusual for me. I'm going to add some dried parsley, some Italian seasoning, just a bit, and some savory. Just a pinch. That is much better. So I'm going to let it simmer, see how much it thickens. If it doesn't thicken much more than this, I think we're good. It's about the right consistency. And there you go. Ham and corn chowder from leftovers. We all have leftovers after meals, and it's just nice to be able to recycle them and use them in a completely new dish. So let me know if you try it. Have a good day.